I know, it's been a while since I've done one of these reviews. Let's just say that I've been pretty busy with my schoolwork lately, and as you can tell, the year's starting to come to a close. And we're nearing the home stretch here, people. There's only 3 episodes left of Season 4, so at the very least, I just want to finish up this season before the semester ends. So to do this, let's get into the episode before the finale. The episode that's been built up for 4 episodes. It was from Just for Sidekicks, Games Ponies Play, Flights to Finish, and Rainbow Falls. Let's finally get into the Equestria Games. So this episode starts out with the train heading to the Crystal Empire as everybody is getting prepped for the games.
Listen up, gang. We're almost there, so I've got a few things to say. First off, who here besides me thinks this is the best Equestria Games delegation in ponytail history? And no matter what your sport is, we gotta give it our best, because we've all got a genuine shot in ponytail gold.
Even the flag team, I guess.
With the possible exception of both biceps and Fluttershy and me. I mean, we're good and all, but we're up against the wonderful semi-aerial relay. So
And that idea also gives me a good idea to add for a fanfic for a certain crossover, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, fast forward past the intro, everybody arrives at the Crystal Empire, and immediately...
Read the foot. Champion gear carrier for all your gear carrying needs. And the ponytail slide? You sure? And what about the flight pole?
Didn't you just have it on the train? You were holding it just like a few minutes ago.
It's a portable wrap. Yeah. Give it a wrap, stop the room. No, she just never stopped her. Perfectly understandable. Whenever I'm afraid I'll forget something and I start to panic, I have a simple trick. I count to 10. By the time I'm done, I calm myself enough to get the job done right every time.
I'm not sure if it's clever foreshadowing or something that's gonna hurt Spike in the ass. And immediately Spike is taken to the Crystal Empire, as everybody now calls him Spike the Brave and Glorious.
It's okay, Spike. We'll have our hook when you go back to your bed. Can they hang back a second and tell me what's going on first?
I just said it.
So the ponies think I'm some kind of hero, huh? More please. I like more. The last time we were here, you got the crystal heart that brings us games and had to save this entire empire from destruction.
With your help, because you realized, Twilight, that you were unable to get out of the situation, so you told Spike to do so, even though you were at risk of failing as Celestia gave you, but I digress. And thus, this actually leads to one of the many complaints I heard about this episode, that all the build-up for the Equestria Games was just focused on another Spike episode. And to be honest, I honestly will admit, I wasn't as angry as everybody else in the fandom was about this episode, but I won't deny that I felt like I was conned. That a concept that was basically overhyped for 4 episodes with overblown advertisement was just dedicated to another Spike episode. So, while I wasn't as angry as everybody else in the fandom was when this episode came out, I did feel like I was conned. But we're only like less than 5 minutes in, so let's keep going.
Throughout my empire, as great and honorable, Spike the Brave and Glorious.
So basically just what I said before.
Big shot here, Spike.
So because of this, Spike was given the honor by Miss Harshwinny, yes, she's back, to basically light the torch, and once he goes up there, he starts to freak out. As
This is the signal.
you know, Miss Harshwinny, you notice that he's shaking. Don't you think you should know something is up? Oh wait, then again, your name is Harshwinny, and obviously timing is everything, so...
I'm giving you the signal now. Dragon.
Wait, did you just call him Mr. the Dragon? Screw it. So yeah, like I just said, Spike starts to freak out and is unable to light the torch because because the stage fright begins to take over. And as you may have noticed, this is another episode where this focuses on Spike's confidence. This would be fine and relatable, except for the fact, as Golden Fox pointed out, this has already been done as Owl's Well and Ends Well and in Power Ponies. So to be fair, it's a little better than those episodes at the very least. But don't you think it's a little cut and paste?
Well, what's wrong? Equestria, we have a problem.
Get it? Like Houston, we have a problem. So because Twilight starts to feel bad for Spike, she lights the flames on fire, and thus the dance begins. Too bad we don't actually get to see any of that. And at first, Spike is a bit wondering how he was able to do that, as Twilight confronts the others and tells her what she did. Yeah. And then we get... This is... And like I said, this is just basically another confidence story with Spike. Right? This is writing 101, guys. And it's the basic thing for writing. Show, don't tell. Just from that one line I say of feeling like the greatest failure ever, we pretty much already know what the moral is going to be by now. And even as I said, the moral is pretty much the same as 2 episodes beforehand. Albeit it's handled a little better, but...
And everything just flipped. It was amazing. Oh, yeah. I was afraid you'd be upset. Upset? Are you kidding? Well, why would I be upset to discover I can light fire with my mind?
Do I even need to say why that's just... Alright. Well, thankfully, this is only short-lived after a couple of cringe-worthy moments as Twilight basically reveals the truth. Thank God.
Sorry, Spike. I just couldn't stand to be stuck like that. You understand, don't you?
Yeah, so I will give this episode credit that at first it was going to go into the believing that you can do something when really you can't trope, but thankfully it didn't go that route, as basically the humiliation is spared a little bit further. As Spike tries to find a way to try to get back his confidence, we get to see a little bit of the game. So, Cloudsdale ends up winning, and we get to oh boy, here we go. Yeah. So, if you thought that the Spike believing that he could do things with his mind thing was silly, we get into another very cringe-worthy moment where Spike offers to sing the national anthem of the winning role, and he believes that it was going to be Ponyville, when really Cloudsdale was the one end up winning. And I, like many people, were very cringe-worthy of watching this scene.
And now, the Cloudsdale anthem as sung by Spike.
I think even Shining Armor realizes how much of a mistake this is.
Cloudsdale anthem? But what's the Cloudsdale? But I don't know what's the Cloudsdale anthem. I've never even heard it.
And for the sake of you, I am just going to fast forward through the scene, because the thing is, like I said, I, like many people, have cringed this scene. Like, even today, like, I had to fast forward through the scene when it was on my DVR, but I did manage to sit through it, because one time after my last semester ended where I actually had to stay at a friend's house because it was just a long story. But anyways, this exact episode was playing at one of my friend's house, and I decided to watch it before dinner time, and I had to sit through the entire Spike singing the Cloudsdale anthem, and it was very painful to watch because I think, like many people have pointed out, it's very uncomfortable to watch because while we do get sympathy from Spike, the downside of that is that we already know what's coming to him. So because of this humiliation, Spike tries to leave. But Twilight basically tries to bring him over to try to snap him out of it.
No more hiding out. You're coming with me. Now. Okay, fine. I'll come. Judy's the favorite. Honestly, Spike, I don't see why you're being so hard on yourself. I'm ready to tell you something. Wait. You never let me see you down. You have no idea what that's like. Are you kidding? I've totally let Connor down. That's not the point. The torch got lit. The area leaders being suffered out. No harm, no foul.
So, yeah, like I said, while this episode has, as I said before, was cut and paste for a couple of past episodes, I will give it credit that Spike does realize more of his mistakes than the other episodes. So that I will give the benefit of the doubt. Also, there was one scene that I kind of skipped over that's kind of a nitpick, where basically there's a security device where Unicorn's magics are disabled, able to prevent anyone from cheating, which makes no sense considering the fact that Twilight used her magic early on to light the torch. And speaking of that nitpick, that actually comes back to bite him in the ass when one of the archers in the last event accidentally shoots an ice arrow into the clouds as it goes towards the arena. Why? Because they're all connected? Yeah, seriously, you probably guessed that was eventually going to come back to bite them in the ass. So because of this, Spike gains his new confidence and basically destroys the ice cloud by breathing fire, and ending up saving the field. Well, and honestly, this actually leads to one of the most relatable, and probably good moral episodes I ever heard. This is also why many people declare it one of Spike's best episodes, though I kind of disagree because I, like many people, kind of feel that Inspiration Manifestation was one of the best Spike's episodes due to his character growth, but this is still a very good moral to listen to.
What needs to be done and reacted. It just so happens that he requires, and if you could be dead, I'm going to say, forgive me for being bloodshot, but you're not making a lick of sense. Just so I feel. Wait a second. I think I get it. You keep saying you let everyone go down, but we all keep saying you didn't. You know who is what you decide? You. And only you can make it right with you again. What would that take, Spike? Turn back time? Right, sure like a do over on the road to the ground. We can't turn back time, but would you do me the great honor?
So, basically this episode's moral is basically telling you that you are your own worst critic, and you need to feel like that's what you're doing is right. And honestly, what Spike really says is honestly kind of relatable to me, because the thing is that I've done a lot of great accomplishments that I will admit are surprising even myself, but I don't try to make a big deal out of it, especially with my education, because I don't want to seem like a show-off. So it's honestly really relatable to myself, and the ending statement from Spike is honestly really great. Oh, she's also waiting your apology for grounding you for a month for no reason at all. Yes, I'm still not over that.
Okay, it's time. You know, it's kind of weird. No matter how many times I tell you to wait, all the faith in the world means nothing. You don't feel inside. Sometimes you feel good about yourself. You've got to let go of the past. That way, when it's time not to let your greatness inside, you'll be able to light up the whole time.
And thus, that was the Equestria Games. And from overblown advertisements and overhype aside, it's a good episode on its own. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of things to nitpick at, like the 2 cringe-worthy scenes that were pretty much unbearable to watch, and just made me feel like that things were going to go downhill. But thankfully, the episode kind of changed my expectations, and it honestly really teaches a good moral about having self-confidence, even though that's already been kind of cut and paste for 2 episodes prior. But honestly, it actually does a really good job of a lot better than those other 2 episodes, which is basically what I can say more than Owl's Well That Ends Well. So, and I will say, it's one of the better Spike episodes, though, like I said, I honestly still prefer Inspiration Manifestation like many other people. But for what we got, it's still a pretty good episode if you just basically push all the overblown advertisements and overhype out of the episode. So, honestly, I'd probably give it about... While it's a good episode, I still think I enjoy some episodes more than others. So, honestly, it kills me to say this, but I would probably have to give the Equestria Games a B+. It would have gotten an A- if it didn't say it was just another Spike episode out of left field, and as I said, the overblown advertisements. And so that much I will say. But it's still a good episode on its own if you just take all those factors out. So yeah, Equestria Games, B+. Oh my god, we are near the home stretch. Alright, I'm Flickcan Gamer, and next time we are going to get into the Season 4 finale, and what I consider to be my favorite episode of the entire series, the 2-part finale, Twilight Kingdom. We are nearing the end, people. I will see you guys next time.